Welcome to Homestead Reptown. Today we're going to be doing a book review on the Complete Guide to Crested Gecko Care and Ownership. So I got this book because quite a few well-known crested gecko breeders have helped contribute to this book. So they gave photos or there's quotes in this book. It was on a lot of different people's Instagram, Cowabunga Geckos, for example, and that's where Mud comes from. He's a Cowabunga gecko. And I was really excited to get it because a lot of other breeders' photos are in here, their information's in here. It's like, this is going to be a pretty solid book. So as I was reading this book, going through, flipping the pages, at the beginning, it wasn't bad. And I could be a little nitpicky on certain things. And where I saw there's like, this is a little weird. So when they're talking about different places to get crested geckos, they said a licensed breeder. And I don't know of any crested gecko breeder within the United States where they have a license to breed crested geckos. You don't need a license. So that's the first thing that was a little weird. So the beginning of the book, the first 11 pages aren't bad. And there are some aspects of this book that are okay. So first off, I posted this in a bunch of gecko groups because there was some whack information in this, like some stuff that I don't know why it's even in here. It's weird. And it's these breeders that know what they're doing helped to it. So when I got this book, it sounded like before I picked it up and I looked at it myself that the breeders had more input in this book than they did. So from what the breeders have told me, and the group in general, is they were given questions, they answered the questions, and then they basically, the author of this book just put the quotes in there. They mostly wanted pictures. They didn't take the information that the gecko breeders were giving them, and they just, Googled searched a bunch of crested gecko stuff, and they got, some horrible information. And I highlighted sections of this book where I'm just and there's some nitpicky stuff in there. And then there's I think this might kill your crested gecko if you do this. I would not suggest doing this. And just some outright, false information. Just, really, really weird, whack stuff that's just, I don't know what in the world they were even looking at. So, at the beginning of the book, it wasn't that bad. It's a cute little book. It's, the photographs are nice. The way the book is set up is nice. And here's, that example, a licensed breeder. A licensed breeder. That doesn't make sense. It's I've never seen a licensed crested gecko breeder. And then they have the pros and cons, pet store, licensed breeder, which I don't know what that is. A rescue. It's... Besides the licensed breeder, it wasn't too bad. But as I, again, was flipping through the book, there's just weird oddities. So they have this sheet down here for, the average cost for a crested gecko. And it's I could be a little nitpicky here because this could be a lot cheaper than what they're saying. It's heating equipment. I don't know if you're going to really get heating equipment. Then $20 to $50 per month for your crested gecko. So not multiple crested geckos, for a crested gecko. I have never spent, when you get everything set up, I have never spent $20 or $50 a month on one crested gecko. I don't know what these people are feeding. If you're spending $20 to $50 a month on a crested gecko, are you emptying an entire 1 pound bag of food into your gecko's enclosure and letting it rot? I don't know what's going on with that. But there's this little section on truth or myths. It wasn't too bad. I would say some of this stuff is true and some of this stuff is kind of more opinion. And then again, you would see the expert quotes. It's not bad, but then this is really contradictory. So there's one section that says hot spot of 82. And I would not say a crested gecko should be at 82. I would not say your crested gecko wants to be at 82. Your crested gecko is going to be at the bottom of the enclosure to get away from 82 temps. I would not suggest that is necessarily a good thing. And then they had cleanup crew, bioactive inclusion, earwigs. I have never, ever seen earwigs for sale for a bioactive cleanup crew. I don't know if that'd be a good idea. And again, we see some more quotes, and we're getting to the good stuff right here. Feeding your crested gecko vegetables. You know, crested geckos are technically omnivores, and they definitely need vegetables in their diet. They need to eat that stuff. No, they do not. I have never seen a crested gecko eat a vegetable. Look at their jaws. They are meant to eat mushy fruit, soft-bodied insects, squishy insects, small things they can engulf in their mouth. They do not eat vegetables. I have never seen a crested gecko eat a vegetable. So they are technically classified as omnivores. That is true. But I would say they're more classified. So a fruit is a plant. So I would say they're more of like a fruitivore. Fruitivore, omnivore. They mostly eat fruit and insects. In the wild, they eat more insects, but they don't eat vegetables. So I don't know why that's even in here. That just threw me off. They have like a feeding schedule that's not bad. Some more expert quotes. And the quotes aren't bad. The only good parts of this book are really some of the quotes that are just scattered throughout the book. They have a section on feeder insects and the calcium, protein, moisture, fat, and fiber. It's not bad. It's what you can find on the internet. Some more quotes. Then they have like different fruits you can feed. It's like, yeah, that's right there. You can feed those fruits. And they talk about gut loading insects. It's like, yeah, you can give all that to an insect and gut load them perfectly fine. Then we go over here to commercial diet. Yeah, I would say these are good commercial diets. Then we go over to insects and vegetables to feed. So all these insects are fine. Crickets, dubia roaches, silkworms, hornworms, black soldier fly larvae, superworms. That's all fine. Then we go to vegetables. You can feed your crested gecko. Dandelion greens, no. Collard greens, no. Watercress, no. Lettuce, no. Spinach, no. Carrots, no. Pumpkin, that's kind of you can. Spinach, no. Bell pepper, no. Okra, no. So there is a pumpkin flavored crested gecko food from Rapashi. Some geckos like it, but I wouldn't just be feeding straight pumpkin. That's bizarre. But I really wouldn't be feeding any of this to my gecko. So either they're not going to eat it, or some of this can be somewhat dangerous. So then they have a little section of Mud is not amused by what this book tells me to feed him. He's not going for the vegetables. So they have a little treat recipe here. And I thought, okay, this is pretty cute. I looked at the two, not too bad. Then I see carrots, green beans, and pumpkin. And it's like, I don't think that's a good idea. Then they have foods to avoid: citrus, avocados, duh. Onions, garlic, nuts, processed honey and sugar, raw eggs, meat. It's like, okay. Then there, again, more quotes. Quoting it up. Chapter 8. And then we get to these weird laws they think they have in the United States that restricts ownership of crested geckos, that you need a license. So most other states require a permit for a crested gecko, for you to own a crested gecko. I have never heard of this. The pet stores sell crested geckos. If you needed a permit to own one, they would not sell them to people. I don't know. Then there's most breeders will give you a temporary transport permit. They're not tigers. We're not transporting tigers around. They're geckos. So I don't even know where this is coming from. You don't need a permit to own them. You don't need a permit to transport them. You don't need to be a licensed crested gecko breeder. I don't know why this is here. I don't, to be honest. It's bizarre. That'd be like, I told you that you need a license to own a goldfish, and you need a transport license to transfer your goldfish around the state. That's bizarre. I don't even know. You can do a quick Google search and figure that's false information. So I don't know how this got through a book that people are going to buy and it's published. So, bizarre thing. So, there's another little section that I spotted. They were saying, like, why it's so difficult to keep wild animals. And not wild animals, exotic animals. Why some places don't allow it. The only other thing I can think of, and these are the web resources this book got. You can see here, this is the resources, and these are the experts. And again, it's irritating because they have some really good experts in here, and the book is actual garbage. It's trash. This book is trash. It's sad because this book has a lot of potential, and Mud's hiding from it. He knows it's trash as well. So, this book is bad. I wouldn't recommend it.